Grazie signor Primo Ministro, grazie per aver sottolineato l'importanza della collaborazione tra il suo governo, la Croazia e il Parlamento europeo, che vuole continuare ad essere centrale nel dibattito sul futuro dell'Europa. Nel corso del suo intervento il Primo Ministro Plenković ha posto sul tavolo una serie di problemi che saranno poi al centro del dibattito che si svolgerà. Il primo commento è quello del Presidente della Commissione europea, Jean-Claude Juncker, al quale do volentieri la parola.
Mr. President, I was trying to put my instruments on silence, but if it rings, it's not my fault, it's yours. Mr. President, Mr. Prime Minister, dear André, Minister, honourable members of the Parliament, it's a great pleasure, in fact, to welcome my good friend André for the debate today. I have known him when he was an influent member of this House and of his parliamentary group. We are missing you in this House, but we are welcoming you in your new function, which is not as new as it seems, because you have established a European-wide reputation. So thank you for being here today. Croatia is both an example and an inspiration for what our Union should aspire to be in the future. Croatia is a young member, not a new member, a young member of the European Union, but a nation with a long and inspiring history, a nation which has shown courage in self-defense and showing conviction when it comes to Europe. With growth now above 3% in 2017 and unemployment set to fall by 6 percentage points from 2016 to 2019, Croatia is a symbol of what can be achieved by working together in our Union. Working together in our Union is another way to address the budgetary problems we have to face. Moi, j'aime bien la rhétorique enthousiaste de tous les gouvernements, de presque tous les gouvernements, il y a des exceptions tout de même, lorsqu'il s'agit de l'organisation de l'avenir de l'Europe. Or, il faut mettre en concordance les poèmes et les réalités budgétaires. L'Europe telle qu'elle est, avec les aspirations qui sont les siennes, avec les ambitions qu'elle nourrit, avec les ambitions et les objectifs qu'elle proclame, ne peut pas vivre à l'intérieur du carcan actuel de l'organisation budgétaire. J'ai été longtemps Premier ministre, ministre des Finances, donc je ne plaiderai pas pour une augmentation du budget sans borne et sans limite. Tel n'est pas mon propos. Mais je voudrais que nous nous mettions d'accord au cours des 11 mois à venir sur les objectifs de l'Union. Il faut d'abord se mettre d'accord sur le contenu et puis sur les chiffres. Moi, je n'aime pas ce débat qui consiste à fixer des limites budgétaires sans avoir évacué, si j'ose dire, entre nous, le débat sur les ambitions futures de l'Europe. D'abord le contenu, puis les chiffres. Pas les chiffres et puis le contenu. Le contenu ne doit pas suivre les chiffres, les calculs doivent suivre le contenu. Donc, concentrons-nous sur le contenu de nos politiques. Évidemment, il y a unanimité au Conseil. Les uns disant qu'ils ne veulent pas payer plus et les autres disant qu'ils ne veulent pas recevoir moins. C'est une équation qui ne fonctionnera pas. Il faudra faire, dans plusieurs domaines, des économies réelles, mais des économies qui font du sens. Il faudra réduire en chiffres les politiques de cohésion et la politique agricole commune. Mais je m'inscris en faux contre cette volonté stupide, passagère, irréfléchie, qui consiste à organiser un attentat sur les politiques de cohésion et sur la politique agricole commune. Ça n'ira pas et la Commission ne suivra pas ce chemin. Mais là où des économies intelligentes peuvent et doivent être faites, nous ferons des propositions dans ce sens. André a nommé plusieurs exemples des politiques de cohésion intelligentes. Évidemment, la Commission accompagnera favorablement en mettant à disposition les fonds nécessaires ce projet concernant le pont. Pilchisak, something like that. But we know where it is and we'll support this project as we are supporting everything which is done in Dalmatia. These are important Croatian and European projects, and the review of the next budgetary period cannot have as an aim to reduce the support we are providing for these important Croatian and European projects. There's only one Croatian in the room. Yeah. We'll do it, even without applause. Yeah, but you are welcome. Yeah. Oui, si j'annonçais le financement d'un pont sur la Seine, tout le monde applaudirait. Mais ce projet en Croatie est aussi important que les projets en Europe occidentale. Il ne faut pas oublier le développement des nouveaux pays membres. Ich wollte einen Satz zu der Erweiterungspolitik der Europäischen Union sagen. Wir werden heute darüber reden in der Kommissionssitzung, die um 1 beginnt. Deshalb bin ich ein bisschen in Eile, weil ich das vorbereiten muss. Wir werden heute die Balkanstrategie festlegen. Ich würde in dem Zusammenhang gerne einige Worte sagen. Es ist falsch, wenn behauptet wird, ich oder die Kommission hätten gesagt, bis 2025 müsse der Beitritt von Serbien und Montenegro unter Dach und Fach sein. Nein, dies ist ein indikatives Datum, ein Ermunterungsdatum, damit die Betroffenen sich konsequent auf den Weg machen. Ich habe bei Amtsantritt gesagt, es wird keine Erweiterung vor 2019 geben. Das hat hier im Hause für Aufregung gesorgt, das hat in der Gesamtregion für Aufregung gesorgt und jetzt sorgt für Aufregung, dass erst dieses indikative Datum für Serbien und Montenegro, das sind die beiden fortgeschrittensten Länder, in den Raum gestellt wird. Man muss sich entscheiden, entweder oder. Entweder man will die Erweiterung in den Westbalkan hinein und mit dem Westbalkan, oder man will es nicht. Ich möchte, dass die Westbalkanstaaten der Europäischen Union beitreten können, wenn die Bedingungen erfüllt sind. Sie sind es zurzeit nicht. Und alle sind noch weit davon entfernt, die Bedingungen zu erfüllen. Aber wir müssen handreichend unseren Partnern im Westbalkan entgegentreten. Wir müssen ihnen helfen, diesen schwierigen Weg. Kroatien hat diesen schwierigen Weg hier erfolgreich beschreiten können, diesen schwierigen Weg zu gehen. Aber ich füge auch hinzu, angesichts dieses Problems, Grenzkonfliktes zwischen Kroatien und Slowenien, das gelöst werden muss. Und dies ist ein bilaterales Problem, ist aber auch ein europäisches Problem. Die Kommission hat ihre Mithilfe angeboten, diese ausgestreckte Hand wird nur fingermäßig in Empfang genommen. Dieses Problem zwischen Slowenien und Kroatien muss dringend an der Lösung zugeführt werden. Und die Kommission wird, da bin ich mir mit André und anderen einig, sich anbieten, um dieses Problem zu lösen. Aber ich füge hinzu, auch angesichts dieses Problems, es wird zu keinem weiteren Beitritt der Westbalkanländer kommen, ohne dass die Grenzkonflikte vorher gelöst worden sind. Vorher. Dieses Spielchen, das darin besteht, zu sagen, wir werden das Problem irgendwann nach unserem Beitritt lösen, wird nicht ein zweites Mal stattfinden. Mit mir nicht. Diese Probleme müssen gelöst sein, bevor es zu einem Beitritt kommt oder es wird zu keinen weiteren Beitritten kommen. Und insofern tragen Kroatien und Slowenien hier Verantwortung. Das Problem muss gelöst werden, bevor es zu anderen Beitritten kommt. Ich wollte dies klar und deutlich hier formulieren. Genauso klar und deutlich, und da bin ich André dankbar, dass er dies gesagt hat, möchte ich mich zur Frage der Spitzenkandidaten äußern. Es besteht bei mir der inzwischen fast gefestigte Eindruck, als ob einige im Europäischen Rat diesen winzigen Demokratiefortschritt, den einige von uns gemeinsam gegeneinander und miteinander veranstaltet haben, zurückführen auf das, was der Vertragszustand 1957 war. Wir sind in 2018. Wir brauchen ein Mehr an Demokratie. Und ich setze mich mit aller Energie und Kraft dafür ein, dass es auch bei der nächsten europäischen Wahl einen Spitzenkandidat der großen politischen Parteifamilien geben wird. Wer das zurückdreht, ich sage nur, die Gefahr ist groß. Auch wenn wir hier im Hause, die meisten von uns, der Auffassung sind, dass wir diese Spitzenkandidaturen brauchen, gibt es im Europäischen Rat, so wie ich das fühle, voraussehe, spüre, fast eine Mehrheit dagegen. Dies ist ein Konflikt zwischen den politischen Parteien. Dies würde ein Konflikt werden zwischen diesem Haus und dem Europäischen Rat. Und diesen Konflikt müssen wir so austragen, dass wir das, was wir 2019 erfolgreich, unabhängig von der Bilanz dieser Kommission erreicht haben, dass das 2014 erreichte, auch 2019 wieder stattfindet. Und es besteht kein Widerspruch zwischen der Idee, für die ich meine Sympathie ausgedrückt habe, der transnationalen Listen und der Spitzenkandidaturen. Wer hier Konfliktraum sieht, ist ja für transnationale Listen, aber eigentlich gegen die Neuerungen, die wir 2014 angeführt haben, der Spitzenkandidaten. Und deshalb müssen wir in puncto Spitzenkandidatur engstens zusammenstehen. Wir müssen das tun, weil es geht hier um die demokratische Substanz der Europäischen Union. Vielen Dank.
Grazie Presidente. Il Parlamento europeo condivide la posizione a favore dello Spitzenkandidaten, lo ripeterò al Consiglio in occasione del prossimo dibattito, della prossima riunione del Consiglio europeo, come condividiamo la posizione su un bilancio politico dell'Unione europea. Non è una questione di soldi, è una questione di priorità da scegliere e se punteremo anche, ci sarà presto una serie di relazioni sulle risorse proprie. Per esempio, noi vogliamo che tutte le imprese paghino alla stessa maniera. I giganti del web non possono essere privilegiati rispetto alle altre imprese. Ora cominciamo ad ascoltare i rappresentanti dei gruppi politici. Il primo a parlare è l'onorevole Manfred Weber a nome del gruppo del Partito Popolare Europeo. E procedo adesso anche alla chiusura del sistema per la registrazione elettronica delle richieste per il catch the eye.
Mr. Commission President, dear Prime Minister Plenković, dear Andrei, welcome, first of all, in your chamber in the European Parliament. Back again to see you on this place. It's really a great thing for us. And thank you, first of all, for your today's commitment to your and our vision of a democratic Europe. Your clear idea that the Parliament is the place where we decide, especially on the Commission President, is absolutely crucial and clear. And I hope you can convince a lot of your friends and colleagues in the European Council in a few weeks. Croatia is our newest member state, but Croatia already is a key driver for the European integration. The achievement of Croatia proves to all in the region that through hard work, persistence, political courage and determination, EU membership is not only within reach, but also of a great benefit for all of us. Croatia is a success story and a model for a lot of Balkan states. So congratulations for what you achieved. Dear colleagues, today's debate about the future of Europe, last week with Leo Varadkar, today Andrei with you, has the idea to talk more general about the future of this continent, of our continent. And I want to talk today about identity. I want to talk about nations. For the EPP Group, it's clear that the nation states are the fundament of Europe. Nation, pride, the history of our countries, the cultural heritage of our nations, Europe is not possible without this. But there, I think, is more when we talk about identity. When we look to the people in Scotland, in South Tyrol, in Sicily, in the Basque region, yes, they feel as Spaniards, as British citizens, as Italian citizens, but they also are rooted in their regions. They are also rooted in their regions. So there is a double identity on this continent. So why should there only be a national pride, dear colleagues? Why shouldn't it be possible to combine this with regional and European pride? Here in this House and all over Europe, a lot of politicians from the extreme right, from the right extremists, are telling the people the only thing is your nation, and to hell with Europe and to hell with Brussels. Politically, dear friends, this is one of the key questions we have to answer in the debate about the future of Europe. And I give a clear answer, a personal answer. Dear friends, Bavaria is my home. 150 years ago, we were an independent kingdom as Bavarians. Germany is my nation, with all the beauty and richness of the German culture, but also with the unthinkable barbarism of the Nazi time. And I'm a European with heart and mind. I love and live the European way of life. And I don't allow any extremist and nationalist to hold these in contradiction that belongs together. And let's look to Croatia when we talk about this. The Croatian history has proved in the last centuries neither big trade powers like the Venetian duchies, nor big empires like the Osmanian or the Austrian-Hungarian dynasties, nor the deals among powerful states beyond closed doors in the Vienna Congress, and nor fascists or communists have guaranteed Croatia's independence and interests. Only a democratic Europe that acted together has been able to protect self-determination, security, peace and prosperity for the Croatian peoples. So Croatia is the best example, dear friends, that we have to think the future of Europe together with a national identity. And another point is important. Let's for a moment imagine that nationalists had won Europe without a European Union, without Brussels or Strasbourg. Does anybody think that then middle-sized and small member states would have any influence? Today in the European Council, Prime Minister Plenković has a say because there is a unanimous decision necessary. And dear friends, without such structures, without an European Union, I'm sure an intergovernmental Europe will only be organized and led by Germany, France and a few of the other nations. That is not the idea of Europe. We are equal, we are all Europe, and that is our future idea. So the nationalists, dear friends, are stupid and naive. They didn't learn from history. They weakened the power of their own people. Everybody who believes in strong nations must be in favor of a united and democratic Europe. I spoke about identity, and I want to add another aspect. When you fly from Lisbon to Tallinn, when you fly from Helsinki to Sicily, you see a lot of diversity. Food, music, languages, traditions. Our continent is so rich and so colorful, and I like it. But one thing, dear friends, is in common. In each village, in each town and each city, with only a few exemptions, there is in the middle a Christian church. Christmas, Easter, Pentecost are holidays we all share. We have to stick to our Christian heritage. Our democracies, dear friends, our democracies, welfare states and social market economies could only arise because of our Christian values of responsibility, solidarity and freedom. And dear friends, we ourselves have to protect our European way of life by preserving our Christian values. Faith is for sure a private thing, that's clear. But for our societies, for Europe, there will be only a Europe that sticks to its Christian heritage or no Europe at all. Thank you so much.
A nome del gruppo dell'Alleanza di Socialisti e Democratici la parola all'onorevole Weidenholzer.
Dobrodošli. Welcome back to the European Parliament, Prime Minister. You came to discuss with us the future of Europe. And to answer this, we must know where we come from. You, as many of us, come from a region, the Balkans, that has been at the center of European history. I would say has been its destiny region. Its history taught that peace in Europe can never be taken for granted. The Balkans also tell us that history does not provide the answers. Moving forward does not allow to be obsessed with the wars of the past. A European perspective for the Western Balkans is the right answer. Our group is supporting this endeavours of the Commission. From your government, Prime Minister, we expect a clear commitment for peace in the Balkans and respect of neighbouring countries, of their borders and integrity. We also call on Croatia to respect arbitration decision between Croatia and Slovenia. History, dear colleagues, teaches us that a good future is not possible with extreme nationalism and racism. I'm deeply worried by the recent racist attacks in Italy. Sad to say that they could have happened also in other member states. Our union is not just a market, it is built on values, the rule of law and democracy. And it is not always delivering. A European democracy needs more open and inclusive institutions. We need bold decisions in order to overcome mistrust and apathy. Let's give our citizens the opportunity to choose a transnational list. Giving people the right to choose, this is democracy. We also support the idea of Spitzenkandidat. This improves participation. But we should not be obsessed with institutional reforms. Sometimes it is hard for ordinary people to follow what we are discussing. Institutions must serve the people's interest and not the other way around. Europe has to deliver by changing our lives for the better. Too many people in Europe are unhappy with the status quo. They want decent jobs, safe pensions and fair treatment when they are sick. All of us want a good future for our children. It is time to engage for more social Europe with the European minimum wage, with no social dumping, with better and longer maternity and paternity leave. This is why the MFF will be crucial. Brexit cannot be the excuse to undermine the European budget. The Union must have more resources, its own resources, in particular to accompany the ecological transition toward a new, more sustainable development model. There is no future for a continent when too many young people are stuck in precariousness and unemployment. We need to invest for the future. We need a strong initiative for public investment, and we have to rethink the dogma of austerity. After Brexit, a newfound awareness about the importance of the European Union is growing. We cannot disappoint our citizens again. They will not give us a second chance. We must deliver now, but we can do it only if we are looking forward and if we are looking not in the past, looking forward, courageous and inclusive.
Per il gruppo dei conservatori e riformisti europei la parola all'onorevole Tomasić.
Hvala lijepa gospodine predsjedniče. Poštovani predsjedniče hrvatske vlade, kolegice i kolege. Posebna mi je čast i zadovoljstvo raspravljati o budućnosti Europe s premijerom države iz koje i sama dolazim. Ovo je prvi put da na ovaj način izmjenjujemo mišljenja s vodećim čovjekom hrvatske izvršne vlasti o izazovima s kojima se suočava Europska unija. Hrvatska je dugo bila stidljiva kad je riječ o europskim pitanjima Iznimno mi je drago da je ova vlada to promijenila i da nastoji voditi proaktivnu politiku na europskoj razini. Kao zastupnica mogu posvjedočiti o vrlo konstruktivnoj suradnji s državnim institucijama u mnogim pitanjima koja su važna za Hrvatsku i Europsku uniju, što prije često nije bio slučaj. Ova vlada konačno razmišlja u europskim okvirima, ali bojim se da građane još uvijek nije uspjela uvjeriti u važnost njihovog sudjelovanja u europskim politikama. Sukladno tome, Hrvati slabo iskorištavaju prednosti članstva u Uniji i to je izazov na kojemu moramo poraditi. Većini građana Hrvatske život se, nažalost, nije promijenio nabolje od 1. srpnja 2013. pa je razumljivo da oni članstvo u Uniji ne smatraju naročitim uspjehom. Od svih članica iza Hrvatske po razvijenosti samo Bugarska, koja ju većom stopom rasta polako sustiže. MMF u svom country reportu piše kako je proces provedbe strukturnih reformi u Hrvatskoj usporen nakon ulaska u Uniju i da je investicijska klima loša u odnosu na usporedive ekonomije. U takvim okolnostima ne treba nas čuditi što građani ne pokazuju veći interes za europske politike, institucije i izbore. Zato vas, gospodine predsjedniče hrvatske vlade, želim ohrabriti da nastavite mijenjati te nepovoljne okolnosti i ne posustanete u provedbi reformi. Mnogima će to zvučati pomalo nevjerojatno, ali za budućnost Europske unije od iznimne važnosti da njome budu zadovoljne i države poput Hrvatske. Države koje nemaju imperijalističkih ambicija, ali njihov glas u svijetu može biti pojačan članstvom u Uniji. Države koje nisu imale veliko i bogato tržište, a ulaskom u Uniju dobili su upravo to. Države čiji su građani na svojoj koži osjetili diktaturu i autoritarnu vladavinu i u Uniji još uvijek vide slobodu represije i visoke demokratske standarde. Ako Hrvatska i članice koje s njom dijele slične tegobe iz prošlosti i izazove sadašnjosti u Uniji ne budu vidjele dodatnu vrijednost i utjelovljenje svojih višedesetljetnih težnji, onda ona nema budućnosti. Bude li Europska unija igralište samo za velike i moćne, koji će nametati svoju volju manjima i slabima, nikad neće ispuniti sav svoj potencijal. Zato vas, gospodine predsjedniče hrvatske vlade, ovim putem pozivam da za briselskim stolom artikulirate autentičnu hrvatsku poziciju koja neće slijediti unaprijed zadane modele i tuđe ambicije. Neka sve vaše inicijative budu plod volje hrvatskih građana koji žele snažnu Europu, ali ne bez prosperitetne, stabilne i suverene Hrvatske. Hvala lijepa.
Grazie. A nome del gruppo dell'Alleanza dei Democratici e dei Liberali, la parola all'onorevole Guy Verhofstadt.
Yeah, thank you very much, President. Prime Minister, I will not go too far in history to praise the European vocation of Croatia, like my dear friend Manfred Weber, but I have a far more shorter sentence about that. I did campaign in Croatia in 2014, together with Nino Janković. So I have seen in Istria, in Croatia, how all these new companies raises, the growth that is there since the entrance of Croatia in the European Union. The most what I visited with him were wine estates, I have to tell you, but it was impressive what is happening economically in Croatia. And I have, in fact, I will pick and choose, in fact, 2 points on the reform of the European Union. The first is on the new financial framework. Dear colleagues, it's clear that it is a crucial thing, and I ask one thing to the Council, to accept that in the future it cannot be as in the past. This Parliament will request a say on the expenditures and on the income. It has to be finished. That is the only Parliament worldwide that has no say on the income of the European Union. That has to stop now. This is a full Parliament, and we will have a multi-annual financial framework in which both Council and Parliament, based on proposals of the Commission, will be responsible. And my second thing is on the Spitzenkandidaten. Yeah, you were a Spitzenkandidat, Mr. President. And I think that you have said exactly what is at stake. The Spitzenkandidat is a gain in the democratic process, and we cannot lose it. Like, in my opinion, the best way not to lose it is to embed this system in a democratic process. Because Spitzenkandidaten, where there's a backroom deal inside a political party or between political parties, I can tell you, people are not much involved in this. You need to involve the citizens. You need to give them the possibility to vote directly for a Spitzenkandidat. Not only a Spitzenkandidat from their country, but a Spitzenkandidat from other countries. So all Europeans have to have this possibility. And therefore, I think it's necessary to embed the Spitzenkandidaten in transnational lists. The first on the transnational list is the Spitzenkandidat. That is the system. And it gives the power to the citizens to vote for him. So there is no contradiction between both concepts. More, I think, Manfred, this Parliament has to unite between both concepts. And if we don't do it, we risk to lose everything in this fight. And that we cannot afford in the European Union. And finally, on the Western Balkans, my third point, we are all in favour, my group is in favour, for the entrance of these countries under the conditions set by the European Commission. And in that respect, I hope that Croatia can, again, with their Slovenian friends, give the good example and find a fast-track solution for the border issue, the fastest as possible, based on the arbitrage that has been made. Thank you, dear colleagues. Thank you.
A nome del gruppo confederale della sinistra unitaria europea, sinistra verde nordica, ha la parola l'onorevole Sirikiotis.
Ευχαριστώ, Πρόεδρε. Κύριε Πρωθυπουργέ, καλώς ορίσατε στο Κοινοβούλιο. Κύριε Juncker, αγαπητοί συνάδελφοι, κανείς δεν μπορεί καν να κρύψει τη θεσμική, κοινωνική και πολιτική κρίση που περνάει η Ένωση. Τη φτωχοποίηση των λαών, τη ψηλή ανεργία, ιδιαίτερα στους νέους, την έλλειψη αλληλεγγύης, τα μεγάλα δημοκρατικά ελλείμματα, τη ξενοφοβία και τον ρατσισμό. Αν αυτά μπορούσαν να κρυφτούν, δεν θα είχαμε καν τη συζήτηση σήμερα εδώ. Χρειαζόμαστε άμεση αλλαγή πλεύσης από τις πολιτικές λιτότητας και της αχαλήνωτης ελευθερίας της αγοράς, από τις πολιτικές στρατιωτικοποίησης και της έλλειψης κοινωνικής αλληλεγγύης. Οι πολιτικές λιτότητες που βάλλονται στους λαούς μέσα από το συντονισμό των οικονομικών πολιτικών των κρατών μελών και την πάση θυσία πειθαρχία σε οικονομικούς δείχτες σπρώχνουν τα κράτη-μέλη σε συνεχές ξύλωμα του κοινωνικού κράτους. Οι προτάσεις που κατατίθενται, όπως για παράδειγμα για ένα υπερυπουργείο οικονομικό, θα οδηγήσουν δυστυχώς στην ευβάθυνση της αντιδημοκρατικής και αντιλαϊκής οικονομικής διακυβέρνησης για την Ευρωζώνη, θα συνεχίσουν και θα διαιωνίζουν τη διεύρυνση των κοινωνικών ανισοτήτων στην Ευρωπαϊκή Ένωση. Οι μέχρι στιγμής διακηρύξεις για κοινωνικό πυλώνα της Ευρωπαϊκής Ένωσης και για κοινωνική δικαιοσύνη εκ μέρους της Κομισιόν αποδείχτηκαν προπέτασμα καπνού. Τα πρόσφατα αποτελέσματα των συζητήσεων για το Ευρωπαϊκό Κοινωνικό Πυλώνα μεταξύ των αρχηγών των κρατών μελών της Ένωσης στο Γκέτεμποργκ είναι ένα κοινωνικό πλασέμπο, όπως εύστοχα το χαρακτήρισε ο Ευρωπαϊκός Τύπος. Δεν υπάρχει καμία νομική δέσμευση προς τα κράτη-μέλη. Ούτε λέξη για το ανθρώπινο δικαίωμα στην αξιοπρεπή εργασία. Αντίθετα, προωθούνται μέτρα προς την κατεύθυνση της περαιτέρω φιλελευθεροποίησης και της απορρίθμισης των εργασιακών σχέσεων. Σε αυτό το νεοφιλελεύθερο και αντικοινωνικό πλαίσιο, τα ξενοφοβικά, ρατσιστικά κινήματα αξιοποιούν την ανθρωπιστική κρίση που προκάλεσαν οι νεοφιλελεύθερες πολιτικές λιτότητας μέσω μιας ρατσιστικής ρητορικής. Καπηλεύονται τη φτωχοποίηση των εργαζομένων, τη συρρίκνωση του κοινωνικού κράτους, την αμείωτη μείωση μισθών, συντάξεων και εργασιακών δικαιωμάτων προς τα κάτω και πετυχαίνουν νέες εκλογικές νίκες ενισχύοντας τη δύναμή τους. Τα ρεύματα προσφύγων αντιμετωπίζονται με βία και απαθροπιά. Αφήνονται χιλιάδες πρόσφυγες στην τύχη τους να πνιγούν στη Μεσόγειο, ενώ η Ένωση υψώνει νέα τύχη δημιουργώντας στην Ευρώπη φρούριο. Την ίδια ώρα οι πολέμοι στην περιοχή μας εντείνονται, με πιο πρόσφατο παράδειγμα την επίθεση της Τουρκίας ενάντια στην περιοχή Αφρίν στη Συρία. Αγαπητοί συνάδελφοι, απέναντι σε αυτήν την ολομέτωπη επίθεση ενάντια στους λαούς και τους εργαζομένους, η θέση της GUE-NGL παραμένουν θέσεις αρχών. ζητούμε άμεση άρση των νεοφιλελεύθερων πολιτικών λιτότητας. Οι λαοί χρειάζονται δημόσιες επενδύσεις που θα δημιουργήσουν νέες αξιοπρεπείς θέσεις εργασίας με πλήρη δικαιώματα των εργαζομένων μέσω της επαναβιομηχανοποίησης και τη στήριξη της πραγματικής οικονομίας. Μόνο τέτοιες πολιτικές θα ενδυναμώσουν το κοινωνικό κράτος και θα επιτρέψουν την κοινωνική ανάπτυξη. Παράλληλα, ζητούμε ένα κοινό, ανθρώπινο και μόνιμο σύστημα ασύλου που θα διασφαλίζει τα ανθρώπινα δικαιώματα και την ανθρώπινη αξιοπρέπεια. Ένα σύστημα που θα δημιουργεί νόμιμες και ασφαλείς οδούς για τους πρόσφυγες, θεωρήσεις για ανθρωπιστικούς λόγους και ενίσχυση της επανένωσης οικογενειών και θα κατανέμει δίκαια τα βάρη των προσφυγικών ροών. Η νέα αμυντική πολιτική που εξαγγέλθηκε το περασμένο καλοκαίρι για ενίσχυση της αμυντικής βιομηχανίας χρησιμεύει μόνο στην ενίσχυση της επιχειρησιακής δυνατότητας του ΝΑΤΟ και συμμετοχή σε νέες επεμβάσεις και πολεμικές σειράξεις. Ας συνεχίσουμε έτσι. Το παράδειγμα της τουρκικής εισβολής στο Αφρίν της Συρίας ενάντια στους Κούρδους, όπου οι Τούρκοι πολεμούν και επιτίθενται με γερμανικά τάγκς και οι Κούρδοι αμήνονται με γερμανικά αντιαρματικά, είναι χαρακτηριστικό. Εκεί οδηγάει περαιτέρω στρατιωτικοποίηση και στήριξη της εξαγωγής όπλων σε νέους πολέμους, σε νέες πολεμικές σειράξεις. Αγαπητοί συνάδελφοι, οι νεοφιλελεύθερες συνταγές της λιτότητας των μνημονίων και της επικράτησης των νόμων της αγοράς και της στρατιωτικοποίησης δοκιμάστηκαν και απέτυχες. Είναι οι πολιτικές που προκάλεσαν ανθρωπιστική κρίση. Το μέλλον της Ευρώπης βρίσκεται στην κοινωνική ανάπτυξη, την κοινωνική δικαιοσύνη, την αλληλεγγύη. Βρίσκεται στην περαιτέρω συμμετοχή των πολιτών με ενίσχυση των εξουσιών του Ευρωκοινοβουλίου, με ενίσχυση και διεύρυνση των πολιτικών ελευθεριών. Βρίσκεται στην ειρήνη και την ειρηνική συνύπαρξη τόσο μέσα στην Ένωση όσο και έξω από αυτή. Ευχαριστώ, Πρόεδρε.
Per il gruppo Verde ha facoltà di parlare l'onorevole Ska Keller.
Prime Minister, welcome to the Parliament, and thank you very much for joining this debate about the future of Europe. And I think it's particularly nice to have this debate with the head of the newest of all member states, because one would think that the newest member state has the most to say about the future. But unfortunately, it seems that many in your country and also many in your party are actually holding on to the past. And while it's, of course, important to remember the past, to learn from it, it's also important to make peace with previous enemies. And after all, this is what the European Union is all about. We have learned from the past. We have decided to never again allow war to happen. We want to finally overcome nationalism, and we want to prosper together with our old enemies. And I hope that Croatia will do the same, and that especially you as the leader of the country, you will do your utmost to overcome the shadows of the past. And the future of Europe, how I see it, lies in creating the future of the people who live in Europe. And this means enhancing their quality of life, improving social policies, and also guaranteeing human rights. And when I say human rights, I actually mean the rights of all humans. And I'm sad to see that despite economic improvements in Croatia that have been mentioned already, social inequality seems to be increasing rather than decreasing. And this is a trend that actually we see in many European countries, and it's a trend that we urgently need to address. And refugee rights are human rights too. And I hope that you, Prime Minister, will not allow pushbacks to happen in the future, and that you will investigate the pushbacks that have already happened from Croatia. And also women's rights. It's 2018, and Croatia, together with other member states, unfortunately, still has not ratified the Istanbul Convention. And how can it be that there's even a question about whether we should protect women from violence? How come this is still a debate? How come we're not moving on with this? And the future of all of us, finally, depends on how we treat our planet. And Croatia is an example of a beautiful, resourceful country that really can show other European countries the way ahead. You said that you want to be on the energy map. I think Croatia has plenty of resources to be on the map of renewable energies, to be on the forefront. Therefore, I would urge you to reconsider your plans for those LNG terminals in the Northern Adriatic, and also reconsider some other huge development plans like golf courses, because those would hurt both the environment but also the local businesses. Be the example. show the way how to do economy and ecology together. Europe can learn a lot from Croatia, but for that you need to be ambitious in those. And the future of Europe is built by the Europeans. It's what we make of it. And civil society, I believe, is a very important partner in this aim and needs to be supported. We should strive to end hate in Europe, to overcome nationalism, and to strive together for better, for a common future. In your country, with its history, with its geographic position, can be a prime example for all of that, because the future can be bright, but only if we make it so. Thank you.
A nome del gruppo Europa della Libertà e della Democrazia Diretta, la una parola all'onorevole Paksas.
Pone pirmininke, komisijos pirmininke, gerbiamas ministrė pirmininkė. Gerai, kad pagaliau bent diskutuojame dėl ES ateities. Tokie vaizdžiai pagaliau pripažindami, kad dabartis nėra tokia gera ir jinai mūsų netenkina. Problemos dėl migrantų, socialinės skirtis, nedarbas, daugelis kitų. Kuo daugiau mes diskutuojame, tuo daugiau šios problemos aiškėja, kartais aštrėja. Bet tik 3 valandos kartą per mėnesį tokių diskusijų Europos parlamente, pristatant vienos šalies vyriausybės vadovo žvilgsnį, yra, mano supratimu, per mažai. Tokiais tempais sukantis 27-osios Europos Sąjungos šalies vyriausybės vadovo požiūris į problemas ir pasidalimą siūlymais su Europos parlamentu atsiras ne anksčiau kaip 20 metų pavasarį. Ar mes turime tiek laiko vien diskusijom? Ir nors buvo paminėta, kad ministro pirmininko požiūris būtų vis tik tai labai įdomu išgirsti, ką konkrečiai ponas ministras pirmininkas mano apie Europos saugumo ir gynybos sąjungos kūrimą. Aš supratau, kad jūs pritarėte nuostatai didinti gynybos išlaidų apimtį ir veiksmingumą. O gal geriau investuoti į švietimą, kultūrą, socialinius reikalus, mokslą, sportą. O kaip su globalizacija, ponė ministrė pirmininkė? Jūs ją vertinat teigiamai ar neigiamai? Ar ES neturėtų ginti tokių mažų šalių kaip jūsų Kroatija ir mano Lietuva? Gal galėtumėt pristatyti savo konkretų požiūrį į Katalonijos nepriklausomybės siekį? Ar ES poziciją matytumėt kaip tautų žandaro, ar pasisakytumėt už demokratinius procesus? Ar pritarėte įvesti vieningą Europos valiutą visose bendrijos šalyse? Būtų gerai, jeigu kartu pagalvotume, kaip spręsti demografinės problemas ir skatinti gimstamumą. Kaip ne kalbomis, o realiais sprendimais sumažinti jaunimo nedarbą. O migracijos sukeltų problemų kamuolys. Koks sprendimas? Nereikėtų užmiršti ir demokratijos problemų. Bendrijos šalyse būtina surengti referendumus dėl ES ateities, bent jau dėl krypties. Ar žmonės pritarė savarankiškų valstybių sąjungos stiprinimui, išlaikant stiprias ir suverenės nacionalinės valstybės? Ar nori naujos Europos federacijos, be savarankiškų valstybių? Manau, kad artėjantis Europos parlamento rinkimai kitais metais kaip tik yra puikiai proga tokį referendumą surengti kiekvienoje valstybėje. Dėkui.
Delle Nazioni della Libertà, la parola all'onorevole Matteo Salvini.
Buongiorno Presidente, ma ho l'impressione fra sorrisi, complimenti, applausi che ci sia qualcuno che ricorda l'orchestra che suonava sul Titanic prima che la barca affondasse. Io sono preoccupato da papà prima che da cittadino italiano. Sento che qualcuno dice che bisogna accogliere più immigrati. La Croazia vuole entrare nell'euro e entrare nel sistema Schengen. State attenti. In Italia negli ultimi anni sono sbarcati 600.000 finti profughi, non dalla guerra, ma che la guerra ce la portano in casa. In un anno i reati compiuti da cittadini stranieri sono stati 250.000, 55% di furti, 51% sfruttamento della prostituzione, 45% delle estorsioni, 40% degli stupri, 1500 stupri in un anno. E l'Europa che fa niente, anzi, riconosce la figura dell'immigrato climatico, come se non avessimo già abbastanza problemi. Ho sentito l'ipocrisia dell'abuso delle parole democrazia e diritti umani, mentre nelle scorse ore il dittatore turco Erdogan, dittatore di quel paese che qualcuno vorrebbe fare entrare nell'Unione Europea, era accolto con tutti gli onori a Roma. Io ricordo che questo paese non riconosce il genocidio di 1,5 milioni di cittadini armeni, il primo olocausto della storia, e quindi mi vergogno alla sola idea del fatto che un tale dittatore possa tranquillamente essere accolto con tutti gli onori in un paese come il mio e che qualcuno pensi che la Turchia possa entrare in Europa, a meno che non ci siano morti di serie A e morti di serie B. E fra i morti di serie B gli armeni e magari gli italiani infoibati dai comunisti, dai partigiani titini, dimenticati da tutto e da tutti. Sull'immigrazione siamo messi male, sul lavoro siamo messi peggio. 30 milioni di disoccupati in Europa, 3 milioni di disoccupati in Italia, 5 milioni di poveri in Italia, 3 milioni di lavoratori sfruttati in nero, e l'Europa governata dalla Commissione Juncker aiuta ovviamente i grandi e massacra i piccoli. Cosa ci si poteva aspettare di diverso da qualcuno che è stato per quasi 20 anni al governo di un paradiso fiscale come il Lussemburgo, che ha aiutato le multinazionali a eludere il pagamento delle tasse laddove le dovevano pagare, massacrando artigiani, commercianti, professionisti e piccoli imprenditori. E poi arriva la direttiva sulle banche, che aiuta le banche tedesche, aiuta la direttiva Bolkestein, che aiuta le multinazionali. Noi stiamo coi piccoli, Presidente. Noi vorremmo difendere la nostra agricoltura, il nostro riso, il nostro olio, il nostro latte, il nostro grano, il nostro pesce, il nostro modo di vivere. Ho sentito il capogruppo Weber che ha fatto un bel discorso. Ci sono più patrie, ci sono più popoli, ci sono più sentimenti di appartenenza. Il problema non è il populismo, il nazionalismo, la xenofobia, il razzismo. Il problema numero uno in questo momento è il terrorismo islamico e la disoccupazione che sta portando i popoli a reagire. Qualcuno ha paura delle elezioni, qualcuno teme le elezioni, qualcuno teme le elezioni e il voto degli italiani. Vuol dire che avete un problema. Se avete paura del voto dei cittadini, del libero voto dei cittadini, vuol dire che questa Unione Europea è il Titanic che sta affondando. Noi ce la metteremo tutta. O l'Europa cambia o saranno i popoli a cambiarla. A partire dal 4 marzo in Italia per qualcuno vengono prima i banchieri, le multinazionali e gli immigrati, per me e per la Lega vengono prima gli italiani. Grazie e auguri a tutti, ne abbiamo bisogno.
La parola onorevole Balzo, non iscritto.
Elnök úr, köszönöm a szót. Európa jövőjéről beszélve a fő kérdés. Tovább haladjunk-e a Lisszaboni úton az egyre erőteljesebb integráció irányába, vagy a tagállamok önállóságát jobban megtartó együttműködésre van szükség? A választ a Brexit fényénél kell meghoznunk. Syed Kamall, a brit konzervatívok európai parlamenti vezetője a következőt mondta: egy tagállam távozása elmélyült gondolkodásra kell késztessen mindenkit az Európai Unió állapotával kapcsolatban. Problémát jelent a hatáskörök túlzott központosítása az intézmények javára, a tagállamok polgárai nem érzik sajátjuknak az Európai Uniót. Az utóbbi években népszavazások, választások bizonyították, hogy Európa népei elvetik egy szövetségi állam modelljét. Az Unió tartsa tiszteletben tagállamait, váljon együttműködő nemzetek közösségévé. Ezzel szemben Martin Schulz kijelentette, hogy 2025-ig meg kell teremteni az Európai Egyesült Államokat, azoknak az országoknak pedig, akik ezt nem akarják, ki kell lépniük. És néhány szót arról, kik az Európa pártiak. Azok, akik a lisszaboni utat járják, maguknak vindikálják a jogot, hogy Európa pártiak, akik más képviselnek, Európa ellenesek. Ennek elrettentő példáját mondta Manfred Weber a jelenlegi beszédében. Azok, akik a tagállamok nagyobb önállóságát akarják, úgy minősítette, hogy ők veszélyes nacionalisták, és a felfogásunkat a következő kijelentésben foglalta össze: Mi azt mondjuk, hogy pokolba, Európába. Honnan veszi a bátorságot, hogy ezzel vádol minket? Azért, mert mi más úton haladunk. Tisztelt Tajani elnök úr! Ön elképzelhetőnek tartja, hogy ebben a parlamentben egy konstruktív vita legyen az Európai Unió jövőjéről, ha a legnagyobb frakció vezetője ilyen kirekesztő módon minősíti azokat, akiknek más a véleményük? Köszönöm szépen!
Grazie. Ora la parola al primo ministro Plenković per le prime risposte alle domande e alle sollecitazioni che sono arrivate dai rappresentanti dei gruppi politici.
Grazie Antonio. Dear friends, thank you for the initial round of comments on the speech I delivered at the beginning of this great opportunity to discuss the future of Europe with you. Several points on several questions and comments. First, on the Jean-Claude's comment on balancing the enthusiasm, ambition, and the financial realism of what we would like to see implemented, what policies should be the guiding lines of our project, and which budgetary means we have available. The fact that the UK is leaving is thanks to my earlier knowledge of a member of the Budgets Committee here, is not a positive thing. It's a downside. Let's be very clear about it. We have a downside. We all know that more or less 10 member states finance around 80% of our budget. This is something we don't market widely, but these are the facts. And certainly the catch in the negotiations on the next multi-annual financial framework will be how to fill in the void which will be there. Can we have enough resources to implement all the objectives of our policies? Will this require more contribution from all member states? Are some countries willing to increase it or to remain in the framework of what they're paying or contributing today? Of course, it is not the same if you are looking at it from the optics of the countries who contribute with a substantial percentage or coming from a country with more modest economic and financial abilities where the increase would not be so dramatic. So after the analysis which we have made in Croatia, if there would be an increased demand from our side, we would be willing to do it, to be very clear at the beginning. When it comes to the issues of the enlargement, something several of you have mentioned, if there is a policy or a dossier that we know more than well, then it is certainly enlargement. And it is a very positive coincidence for me that the Commission will come up with a paper during the college a few hours later, bringing forward, as you said, the indicative timeline for the countries which remain within the group that we call the Western Balkans. They are literally divided in three groups: Serbia and Montenegro as the countries who negotiate, Albania, our friends in Macedonia who are now negotiating the issue of the name with Greece more intensively, and in my view, from what I understand, with a bit more optimism on finding a solution as the second group, and then Bosnia and Herzegovina and Kosovo as the final two. My country has no dilemma. First of all, we are helping all of them already. You are not aware of that, but so many Croatian experts are engaged in one way or another, transferring the freshest knowledge on the process of accession negotiations to all of our neighbours. We also know that, as Jean-Claude has said, that the bilateral issues should not obstruct or slow down the process of any country's accession to the EU. We know it better than you, if I may be very clear. Having spent basically entire life dedicated to the objective that one day my country is around this table, I know what it means to lose a couple of years in the accession process. In my modest assessment, around 5, due to two main reasons. One related to the bilateral issues and the other to wider international conditionalities. 5 years from a historical perspective might not seem a lot, but it is awfully a lot when you consider what it means to invest or lose in your economic, social development and take the benefits of the EU membership. This is something I really know. That's why I see the role of my country as a bridge, as a facilitator, as someone who will advocate further enlargement. There is no dilemma that we want to follow up what the Bulgarian presidency is doing in Sofia in May, and that is the EU Western Balkan Summit after 15 years, when it was last held in Thessaloniki. The first one was in Zagreb. I was one of the organizers of that event. And my ambition is to have one in 2020, 20 years later, trying to give a push, because the future of our neighbours anchored in the EU is positive for Croatia. It will help us to address all the residual and open issues which stem from the times when Croatia, as I said at the beginning, was a victim of aggression. That's why we will do our utmost to help all of our neighbours, especially Bosnia and Herzegovina. I think here we have all of us historical responsibility, and that's why I mentioned it at the beginning, paying attention to the full equality of all the three constituent peoples and all the others in the country. When it comes to the issue of Slovenia, which you have put forward, Slovenia is a friend of Croatia. It's the only country in our history and many centuries histories that we never had any conflict, which is rare in our part of the world, almost an exception. This is not perhaps the best forum and the place to go into details of our border issue, but what I would like to say here is the readiness and openness of my government to solve this issue in a manner which would be acceptable for both countries. Something which would take into account the interest of both Slovenia and Croatia. That's what I proposed to Miro Cerar about a month and a half ago, because this is a moment where we have a good opportunity to do it. At the same time, those of you who are following this a little bit in more detail, you know that Croatia's parliament has withdrawn from the arbitration process that was facilitated by the EU in 2009 in order to deblock 14 chapters of the accession negotiations at the time stalled by Slovenia, because of the fact that it was unfortunately the Slovenian representatives who violated the arbitration rules and violated international law. We were there in good faith and we were investing everything we could do. So what we need to do now is find a compromise where both Slovenia and Croatia can be happy. I'm willing to do that. I have the courage to do it, but the only thing I cannot do is to close my eyes and say, no, everything was okay. This is something I cannot do, but what I can do is to refrain from any unilateral actions, refrain from transferring the state-to-state problem to the citizens' problem. This is what I can do. And this is what some of you know what I mean, and includes the fishermen. Because I don't think that is smart and that is useful. On the contrary, it can create an ambiance where it will be more difficult to achieve an agreement. So, from my point of view, with a bit of patience, with a bit of sense and sensibility, with refraining from unilateral actions, because even if arbitration was to be implemented by international law, both countries have to agree for its implementation. Things are relatively clear to all of those who know a bit more details, and I will do everything that there are no tensions and that the solution is found. At the same time, let me be very honest and very clear with all of you. There are so many other still open bilateral issues among many member states, and they never arrive at the table of the European Council nor of the European Parliament. This is something we should remember. A few points on the social elements that you mentioned. On the social elements, I think it was a very timely initiative that we had in Göteborg, initiated by Sweden. The social pillar principles, 20 of them, are items that we can all improve on a national level. I am a friend of a social dialogue with our social partners, both at European and national level, and we have taken care of the fact that the minimum wages increase, that the average salary increases, that the general effects of the big tax reform which we have undertook on a national level have positive impact on our citizens, including the demographic issue by leaving more money to mothers, fathers, by giving some additional allowances for those who have children and those who have even more children, by subsidising the interest rates of the housing loans and a number of other measures that we have taken in order to address the most critical issue, structural issue of my society at least, and that is the question of the demographic revitalisation. Few points on the Spitzenkandidat and the transnational lists. In the last elections in 2014, I was privileged to be at the list of the Croatian EPP family, and I was always mentioning Jean-Claude in every single event we had, and you were more popular than you can imagine. But it took us a lot of effort to communicate to the Croatian voters who is Jean-Claude. Who is Jean-Claude? It wasn't easy always. It took me a lot of effort. Dubravka and Ruža, they know, and all the others. So my point is that we have to be realistic. We have different budgets for campaign. We have different legislative frameworks for campaign. We have an issue of accountability to our constituency. I'm very much, as you can see, a pro-European leader of the Croatian government, but what I here need to see is the right time and the preparedness. We need to look at it from all aspects. So, advocating Spitzenkandidat, absolutely. Are we ready for transnational lists that they will be adequately and fairly represented everywhere, across the 27? For that, I would need to see a little bit more concrete evidence that it is feasible. This is what I think from the experiences I have passed personally so far and the consultations with my friends. Few points on the issues of climate change, renewable energy, issues of protection of nature. You are right. We are lucky to have such a place in Europe with all the benefits, being Adriatic, being Danubian, being a country which is really rich when it comes to water and when it comes to natural resources, but also being aware of the energy needs. So we are looking at the ecological aspects of every single project in a very detailed manner, in the dialogue with local communities, in the dialogue with the NGOs. They are looking at various projects and various items. On the Istanbul Convention, which you have mentioned, few people know that Croat experts were the ones who initiated the whole exercise within the Council of Europe, just next door here. We have signed it in 2013. I don't know why the Social Democratic government at the time didn't pass to a step of ratification. It remains a mystery for me because they had 2 years. What I have done is that we have completed the public consultation. The process of preparing the legislation to forward it to the Parliament is almost over. Unfortunately, the debate on this convention, which is there, in my view, to protect and prevent the violence in the family and especially violence against women, has somehow acquired a different dimension in many public debates, a sort of gender ideology debate, which is trying to put a different angle to the substance. I'm willing to debate this within the Croatian Parliament, within the political parties and within the public, and try to distinguish the trees from the wood. This is what is my task ahead in the months which will follow. Finally, an issue of identity, which was rightly mentioned by Manfred. Thank you very much. We have always longed to be part of this European project. It was on the lips of most of the Croats ever since we became independent in 1990, and therefore the national identity which we acquired in terms of international recognition and finally having our own state after 9 centuries is very strong. And we will nurture it and respect it, Ružo, as you know. But at the same time, trying to build this European project from the perspective of a country who is aware what the war means, and luckily most of your generations in your member states are not aware, gives me another argument that this very project should be strengthened by all means and by consensus if possible. Thank you for the moment.